Welcome to a packed episode of Digging Up Positivity. The convention season is gearing up and boy does it show. In this episode, many charities in March pushing us over the $400,000 raised this very year. A lovely memoriam for Mark Merlino, also known as Cy Sable. The Nomad complex able to return, backed by the fandom. AnthroAir, virtual airplanes for a real fandom, and a Good Furry Award, and much more. Also, I'm happy to work with Artwork Tea, and there's this fantastic new t-shirt design in the store. More details on how to get one, stay with us until the end of the show. In Scotland, the amazing critters of ScotiaCon raised $28,387.01 for the Hebridean Whale and Dolphin Trust, where they showed Europe for the second time in a row that they're very capable to be counted amongst the top conventions in this part of the world. In Sweden, we had Nordic Fuzzcon, and this was my first year as a member of their amazing charity team, and it was truly an honor to announce on stage that we have raised $37,574.71 for animals, helping the animals affected in the war zones of Ukraine. The wonderful folks at Fursquared raised $17,069.69 for the Humane Animal Welfare Society, an open admission and no-kill shelter in Milwaukee. At Vancoufur, they raised $22,173.77 for Community, a Vancouver-based organization that works to improve the lives of LGBTQ members. At Nordic Fuzzcon, Cami, also known as Kiri, was a beloved guest from the First Science team. Unfortunately, during the trip she ended up with a painful infection that resulted in her unfortunate passing, leaving her beloved to pick up the pieces. He reached out to the fandom, who responded with love and warmth that Cami was known for herself, and the GoFundMe is sitting at $19,962 as we speak. In the other end of the world, at the Melbourne Furry Convention, 464 enthusiastic furs managed to raise $4,396.77 for Odanata, Mount Rothwell, a non-profit entity supporting biodiversity impact solutions, helping local commerce with more sustainable solutions for a better tomorrow. Being a music artist can be quite a challenge, and your equipment can be quite expensive. Our friends at Radio Rabbit Hole were heartbroken when they found out that Citrine Husky, his MacBook, did break down after 10 years of faithful service. So they decided to set up a GoFundMe, which currently sits at $1,325. Bandit Raccoon and their friends are still going strong, raising money for ALS with their Spicy Ramen Challenge. In round 4, Flash managed to get through all the rounds, raising $200. Just look at that snoot, that stuff is hot! The wonderful furs at Texas Furry Fiesta raised $35,456 for Texas Care Rescue, a non-profit organization dedicated to the long-term care of over 60 animals, including mountain lions, tigers, bobcats, ringtail lemurs, and more. A whopping 3,647 visitors at the Furnal Equinox in Canada have raised $8,862.78 for the Procyon Wildlife, an organization working hard to preserve the native species in Ontario. At Gateway Furmeet, 978 wonderful guests came together and raised $18,322 for the St. Louis Pet Rescue. At Nordic Fuzzcon there was a most dreadful incident where a fursuit head got desecrated in the most vile manner, but the fandom has banded together and sent out a message, and the amount of warmth and support for the victim was astounding. The GoFundMe about this incident has reached its goal in less than 24 hours with $2,646.10 raised. Now that is some restorative justice. In April, Team DogBomb will join the Walk ALS Triangle again, but they are already raising funds, and with the help of people like Uncle Kage, they have already raised $5,476, and it is still so far before the event even starts. A new year and a new Good Furry Award. They have listened to last year's feedback and some things are changing, like new categories such as the Good Egg Award, furries who are charitable and doing volunteer work in and around the fandom, the Image Award, furries who are presenting the fandom in a good way through media in any form, and the Furtastic Award, for furries doing good work for the community that don't fit well in the first two categories. You can submit as a nomination for any of these categories until September 1st. Throughout the fandom we have various companies that make sure that we can dress up in furry gear looking our best. One of the more favored choices of many was Nomad Complex, but unfortunately they had to close shop. However, the community outreach was astounding, resulting in a Kickstarter where 4,209 backers raised $614,619 allowing them to get back into the game. It is no secret that furry events all over the world are rapidly gaining in size. One of the DutchFurCons, aptly named DutchFurCon, had their 100 spots sold out in a whopping 45 seconds. Last year this was 5 minutes. Comes to show that not just the big conventions are rapidly gaining popularity. Ah yes, the great and wonderful skies. Some of us really love to watch planes. And then we have AnthroAir, a lovely account where they make skins for airplanes featuring our favorite icons and conventions from the fandom as they fly towards popular furry destinations. I love their designs. Do check them out on AnthroAir on the website formerly known as Twitter. In February, a taproom opened in Seattle, but not just any taproom, a furry taproom with all sorts of delicious cider and cool merch, with some wonderful furry puns such as the pineapple and the cinnabear. It is just mouth-watering. If you want to check them out, go to slightlyfurry.com for their info, and next time you're in Seattle, drop by. And now for a featurette. The late Mark Merlino, also known as Cy Sable, a true wonderful person that left a huge legacy. 4 people joined me, telling what he meant to them. Star Raccoon, Joey G. Bear, Viper, and we start off with Score Chaser.
I first got to meet Mark in early 2006 upon the first time I attended the Prancing Skill Tear. I only got to attend about a handful of times myself, but each of those times were very pleasantly remembered, and I still look back fondly on those memories to this day. The first time I attended the Prancing Skill Tear, I was very new to the fandom. I didn't even know that a fandom existed until a friend of mine made mention of it at work. He said, "Hey, you should go to this place called the Prancing Skill Tear. There are people there who are just like us." And so I went, and Mark was one of the first people that I spoke to. He approached me because I was standing pretty much off into the corner by myself. I was very shy. I still kind of am to this day. And we talked for a little bit about cartoons and tabletop RPGs. And he then brought me over to a group of about 4 or 5 other furries who were talking about a Rifts game. And he introduced me to them, and once we got started talking, he went off to go talk with someone else. And to me, that was like the essence of who Mark was. He had this way of just making you feel like you belonged. No matter who you were, what you did, you had a place. You had a place to feel welcome and loved, and he would embrace you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for being a beacon in a world that's just so dark. And even though you're gone, your light is going to continue to shine brightly in the actions of those that loved you and knew you.
I never had the privilege of knowing Sly personally, I'm sorry to say. I knew a lot of people who did know him, but I think the biggest way that he touched my life is just... So I saw the fandom documentary, right? That really wonderful documentary that Ash Coyote did, which covered many things, but they had a very long segment on Sai and his partners and all the wonderful things that they did for literally founding this fandom, in a way that exists, right? And really the gratitude I have is for that more than anything, because when I think of just how much of a positive impact being a furry has made on my life, and to think that were it not for, for at least in part for, this one wonderful human being who kind of helped kick this all off, I can't even imagine how different my life would be, and almost certainly not for the better. I would never have gone on the journey of self-discovery I did to become trans, other types of self-discovery that I've been, basically in almost every single possible way imaginable. My life has been positively influenced by being a part of this, and knowing that it was, him, who, along with many others, of course, but him especially, who helped kick this all off, is something that I will be grateful for as long as I live and beyond. That's really all there is to it.
Our next guest who would like to pay homage to Mark or Sai is our good friend Joey G. Bear from the US. By all means, the stage is all yours.
Well, as I say, I knew Mark for almost 10 years. He has been just he was an incredible guy. Wealth of knowledge. I mean, the guy was like a walking library. I mean, anything about anthropomorphics, you just can ask him and he would have the answer, or try to get an answer for you. But the fact is, Mark was one of a kind. He was very unique. He always will come up from behind me at the Princess Guitar and say, "Hey, Joe." He always will kind of give me that greeting every time when I was at the house. And I've been going to the Princess Guitar probably since about 2019, when I got my first suit. I'm about to celebrate 5 years with Joe Bear, coming up at FWA in May. So it's a big milestone coming up for my bear, but also we are going through a milestone with the loss of many important folks in the fandom, including Mark. And Mark, alongside Rod, are very dear friends of mine. I'm very lucky to live close to the house where they are. I'm in the South Bay of Los Angeles. The house has always been a welcoming place for me and for friends that I've known and friends I've made. The great thing about Mark is that he would always welcome you and take time to speak to you, take time to know you, get to know you. And that's how I've got to know Mark for so many years. It's just a shock that, I was just with him I think 2 days before he died. And I was able to kind of say my goodbyes to him. He was somewhat conscious. But he says, Joe, you're a good guy, and I appreciated that, because I've done a lot for Mark. during FC 2023, I helped Mark and Rod save their retro room parties. Sadly, Rod and Mark lost their hotel room at the Hilton due to overbooking. So you know how it can happen, right? They had, bulky, big analog televisions to carry, right? A lot of food stuff and luggage to carry. And in order to present their Y2K retro parties and the breakfast and cartoons party on Saturday during the FC's theme, the 2000 Millennium Edition, right? Mama Mel and we went out to dinner with a couple other furs. Rod and Mark said they were going to go check into their room at the Hilton. I get this call from Mark. He's just frantic. He's saying, Joe, the Hilton has pushed us out. They kicked us out. We don't have a room. Mark is livid because they needed their room for the parties. They're going to be away from the property. They're going to be away from the convention center.
Yeah.
And so Mark called while I was driving back, very upset about what happened and needing help. Ironically, two of my roomies couldn't make it to FC because they got sick. They couldn't make it. And my lone roommate who was with me, she agreed to let them come to our room and have them host their room parties. Ironically, I was assigned room 621 at the Marriott. So, ironically, I said to Mark, hey, you know what? I'm going to take care of you. You can go ahead, bring your stuff in. They brought their TVs, their equipment, everything in. They were able to host their room parties on Saturday and Sunday. And on Monday, as Rod and Mark were leaving, they both thanked me profusely. Mark was just praising me. It was like, Joe, you saved us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, hearing that from Mark, because he doesn't give a whole lot of accolades, it was really an honor to hear that from him. Of course, Rod would keep hugging me, but Mark, he was just saying, Joe, thank you. And they both helped pay for one night of my room at the Marriott for all the work.
That's
so
sweet.
I thought that was really, really a nice gesture. And again, that's a memory that I won't forget. I was honored to have that. And of course, I think Ash Coyote was there filming for Beyond the Fandom. And ironically, they showed the room E621 at the very beginning of the video. I think about the adventure crew and about the room parties at FC. It's interesting. I wrote that E. And I taped it up on that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but to have Mark featured at the beginning of Ash's video was, to me, very special. And people who haven't seen that yet, please check out Beyond the Fandom from Ash, because I think it says a lot about what Mark was about. I mean, he was a pioneer.
Yeah. Someone
that I admired very much, and I learned a lot. Mark is going to be missed by so many. I'm going to tell you right now, we're having a memorial. I was with Rod yesterday. We went to go see Kung Fu Panda 4. And Rod was telling me, he's looking forward to the memorial on the 23rd. He's he did tell me after the memorial, we are going to continue to have the Prancing party. So the Prancing Skeletor parties will continue. Wow. And I'm very grateful to hear that, because I would expect, more people to come, more people to experience the Prancing Skeletor, because that house is like a museum. It is like the Smithsonian of furry history. Really, if furries who are watching this have not been to the Prancing Skeletor house, you do yourself a favor. If you ever come to Southern California, please come to the house. Come to the Prancing Skeletor house. The parties are amazing. You get to meet new people. You get to meet a lot of the old G, as I said, the old school. But you get to meet new people who are coming in all the time. First timers, people who are visiting from other places. So I'm always meeting someone new when I'm at the house. I'm always meeting someone new who's like, oh wow, this is amazing. Some people from across the globe. I know one guy from the UK that came to visit. So the fact is, the Prancing Skeletor brings us together, brings the community together, and it gives a place for us to feel welcome and to continue to learn. Remember, being furry, no matter how old or how young you are, is a learning process as well. There's a lot of information there, a lot of great books, art, literature for you to see. And so to me, it is like going to the Smithsonian, right? And to me, you cannot miss coming to the Francis Guildhard. Again, I can't stress enough how important that house is to the furry fandom and to the history of our fandom. So definitely, I'm glad that the legacy will continue. We will honor Mark in this way, and I think he would want it that way too.
If I am about to return to Further Confusion, I've been there in 2012. I will definitely consider dropping by there as well. And as for me, unfortunately though, because I'm in Europe, I didn't have that much of contact with him other than Eurofurn 7 years ago. My very first Eurofurns, where I was a security member. I did had a chat with him, but it's long ago. And to say that he made a huge impact on my life, he was a very, very pleasant chap to chat with, absolutely. But this was years ago, and all the things that I see, all the good things that he has achieved, and the people that his lives that he has touched, it's amazing. It's absolutely mind-boggling how much positive influence one person can have.
And definitely one person who was also an inventor. He also invented speaker technology that we use in our cars every day.
Oh, wow.
So not only Mark was an incredible person in terms of being a furry and his contributions to the fandom, he's also an inventor. And again, guy was brilliant. Anyone who's watching this, definitely starting in April, this is what Rod was telling me yesterday, starting in April, we're going to resume the parties. I'm always there for the holiday gift exchange. That was the last Francis Guildhard party in December, and I actually we had a group picture, and I was right down in the middle, right in the smack in the middle, all these furries around me, and that I didn't know that would have been our last party in December, but we were together, and but we're going to resume the parties hopefully soon, and after the memorial on the 23rd, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm going to keep Mark's legacy alive.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and let's carry on his legacy. I mean,
amen.
Yeah, amen.
Hey, sis.
Yes, my darling. What? Rampart, what's wrong?
It's Sable. He passed away.
Oh my goodness, Rampart, are you okay?
I don't know. I don't know what to feel right now. It was Mark. He was our granddad.
Sweetie, just say what's on your mind. It's okay. You can tell me.
But what about them?
You can say it in front of them too, sweetie. It's okay.
Mark, Changa, and Rod. Vincent, thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you helped create.
Mark, I'm going to miss you very much. I want you to know how much we all love you, and we love Rod, and we love Changa. I just want you both to know how much we love and admire you all, and how much this has deeply hurt us. And when it's all said and done, we're very proud of you for what you helped build. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you have done. You will be sorely missed by many. A huge thank you for staying with us till the very end of this jam-packed March episode. We have a wonderful new t-shirt in my artwork tee store called Paws. People always want hugs. Something I most certainly believe in. You can find the link in the description or go to artworktee.com. Go to the partner store and click on Tabo Meerkat. If you want to see me, I am live every week on Monday evening on Twitch, and I do have a mirror stream on this YouTube channel with some vibey music and nice art. However, if you want to toss a coin to a meerkat and support me, you can do that through a channel membership or a sign up on Subscribestar and receive the Digging Up Positivity episodes a wee bit earlier than the rest. And of course, you will be named along these amazing people. On Subscribestar we have Manic, Cosmic with a K, and Taros, Hanzana, and Scorechaser. We have our YouTube members, Lorek Burnison 086, Whiffer, and Longtooth. On Patreon we have Tentru McNally, Ishnula, and Els Dekkers. And of course we have our Twitch subscribers, Ayabuyin, Falconeo, Jake, Svex the Mischievous Fox, Aurapuffs, Drohan the Star Bear, Duwali, Jan the Trekgans, Marcel Kopperson, and Ishnula. The next episode of Digging Up Positivity will be on April 27th. See you around and all the hugs. Stay awesome, you all.